Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you for our time together. Yes, Sister Bev and I are home. We got home late last night. Today we've got Shabbat meetings with all of the staff, and then tomorrow night, our first revival night at North Campus. So we're looking forward to being with you. But right now, I want us to come back to 2 Corinthians chapter 12. One of my frustrations in life is all of this non-scriptural judgment that's taking place in the world today. You pick up Christian magazines, you get Christian newsletters, and it's all about how to tell this and how to tell that. But when you read their 10 steps or their 5 things, there's not a single verse in it. Now, that is causing an attitude of judgment to take place in the body of Christ, judging other Christians and especially judging pastors that is just not fair. Now, the Bible gives us plenty of things to judge a pastor by. And by judge, I don't mean to condemn, I mean to evaluate. When you look at our lives and evaluate us, what is the basis? It should have a scriptural basis. Now, Paul says here in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, beginning with verse 9, he said, "If I wanted to boast, I would be no fool in doing so, because I would be telling the truth. But I won't do it, because I don't want anyone to give me credit beyond what they can see in my life or hear in my message." He said, I don't want anyone to give me credit beyond what they can see in my life and hear in my message. Beyond what they can see in my life and hear in my message. Paul said, I don't want to tell you about all the things I've accomplished in the past. I don't want to tell you about all my incredible encounters with God in the third heavens. He said, I don't want you to judge me or evaluate me based on my encounters with God or based on my past accomplishments. He said, if you're going to evaluate me, he said, I want you to evaluate me on the basis of what you can see in my life right now and hear in my message right now. Now, before you think that's an unbiblical statement, remember, when Jesus talked about false prophets, he said, you shall know them by their fruit. He said, not by their trunk, by their fruit. What are they currently producing? Fruit is the current production of a tree, which you can see in my life and hear in my message. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a negative reason for that. For one thing, all of us as pastors, we're humans and we're Christians just like everybody else. Paul never said, Timothy, let your perfection be seen by all men. He said, let your progress be seen by all men. I had to laugh at myself when I was in Israel the other day because a person looked at me and they said, you know, Pastor, as I look at you, they said, you are a very gentle person. And I almost laughed out loud because I've been called many things in my life, but gentle is not one of them. And I thought, well, God, if people are beginning to see gentleness in my life, that's good growth that's happening in my life. That's stuff that wasn't there before. You see, God never said, let your perfection be seen. He said, let your progress be seen. So on a negative, when it comes to us pastors, we're growing. God's perfecting the good work he began in our lives just like you. On a positive, you know what? Thank God for all the accomplishments of the past. Thank God for all the encounters that we've had in the presence of God. But that doesn't mean anything to your life. Paul said, evaluate this. What can you see in my life right now? Because that's the pattern I'm laying out for you. What can you hear in my message right now? Because that's what I'm teaching you about how to live. Look at every pastor. What can you see in our life, hear in our message?